I was the son of a man who worked in a small factory in Minnesota in 1978. That man, my father, was good with his hands. In his younger days, people trusted him. He could fix anything: broken engines, leaking pipes, machines that everyone else had given up on. He'd come home with grease under his fingernails and this quiet pride in his eyes. But then the factory closed. The oil crisis hit. Recession settled in like a long winter, and suddenly there were no jobs, no pride, nothing to fix. Just a lot of time and a lot of anger. My mother worked at the church, cleaning floors and organizing donation drives, trying to stretch $5 into a week's worth of meals for me and my little sister. I remember the sound of her knees cracking as she knelt to scrub the kitchen tile late at night. My father started drinking. Not the social kind, the kind where you stop coming to dinner, the kind where your eyes go somewhere else. One day, he just left. I was hiding under the kitchen table that afternoon. I don't know why I was down there. Maybe I was playing. Maybe I knew something bad was coming. Through the window, I watched his back as he walked toward the driveway. His shoulders were hunched like he was carrying something invisible. He paused at the door, turned back. His voice was flat, empty. "I'll be back soon." But he never came back. Years passed. I turned 25. I got a job at a printing shop. Started dating a girl named Rachel. Life moved forward the way it does when you stop waiting for someone. My father became a ghost. Not the haunting kind, just the kind you stop thinking about. I didn't know if he was alive, didn't want to know. Then, one spring morning, the hospital called. "Your father is in critical condition. He asked us to find you." Time stopped. I stood there in my kitchen, holding the phone, staring at the coffee pot like it held some kind of answer. I hung up. I didn't go. I told myself I was busy, told myself it was too late, told myself 100 things that all meant the same thing. I was still angry. A few days later, a small box arrived at my door. Inside was a worn leather notebook and a rusty key. The notebook smelled like old paper and something else. Cigarettes, maybe, or rain. On the first page, in handwriting I barely recognized, it said, "February 17th, 1979. Woke up under the bridge again today. Fingers too cold to hold the pen right, but I'm still here." His handwriting shook. The ink was smudged in places, like he'd been writing in the cold. I turned the page. There's a new highway going up downtown. People rush past in their cars, going somewhere that matters. I sit on the bench and watch them. The world moved on. I'm still stuck in 1978. He lived on the streets for years. The notebook told me everything I didn't want to know. He slept in shelters when he could, under bridges when he couldn't. He got into drugs, something he never wrote the name of, just called the thing that makes you forget. He went to rehab twice, failed once, tried again. On one page, dated 1982, he wrote about a high school girl who handed him a cup of coffee outside a diner. She said, "You can work again, sir. I believe in you." I cried. Right there on the sidewalk. It was the first time in years someone looked at me like I was still a person. That was the turning point, I think. He started writing more. The entries got longer, steadier. He got a job cleaning floors at the public library. He found a broken guitar in a dumpster and taught himself to play again. The notebook became a window into a version of America I'd only seen on the news. Factory closures, homeless encampments, Reaganomics posters plastered on telephone poles. Everyone talking about prosperity while people like him fell through the cracks. But he kept going, page after page, year after year. In 1985, he wrote something that made my hands shake. Went to the old neighborhood today. Stood outside the house. I could see the school across the street where my boy used to go. I walked all the way to the front door, stood there for 10 minutes. But I couldn't knock. I heard laughter inside. That was enough. That house was ours. That laughter was mine. I remember that night. I was 17. I'd just told some stupid joke at dinner and my mom actually smiled, something she didn't do much back then. And I heard something outside, footsteps on gravel. I looked out the window but didn't see anyone. It was him, standing there in the dark, listening to us live. I kept reading. The years blurred together. His health started failing. The entries got shorter. His handwriting got worse. Then I reached the last page. March 5th, 1991. Hard to breathe today. Doctor says I shouldn't count on tomorrow. That's okay. My son turned out fine. I know he did. Below that, in smaller letters, one final line. Love should be spoken, even if it's late. I sat there for a long time. I didn't cry. I just felt something inside me crack open, slowly, like ice melting in spring. A few days later, I took the key from the box and drove to the shelter where he'd been staying. It was in the basement of an old Methodist church on the east side. The woman at the desk recognized me immediately. "You look just like him," she said. "He talked about you all the time." She led me to a small locker. The key fit. Inside was another notebook, this one newer, the pages crisper. It was full of recipes, bread recipes specifically. And at the top of each page, a date and a name. Banana bread for George, he likes it sweet. Sourdough for Mary, reminds her of home. Whole wheat for the kids at the shelter, growing bodies, the woman smiled. He baked every Sunday. Said it was the least he could do. I looked down at the notebook. On the last page, he'd written, "If there's anything I can give this world, it's making someone's day a little warmer." That night I went home and opened a beer. I sat on my porch and watched the sky turn purple. For the first time in 20 years, I said the word out loud. Dad. It felt strange in my mouth, foreign, but also right somehow. I'm not going to lie and say I forgave him completely. Forgiveness doesn't work like that. It's not a switch you flip. It's more like learning to carry something differently. The weight doesn't change, but your grip does. But I understood something that night. He wasn't a good father. He failed us in ways that mattered. But he was still a person, a broken one who tried, in his own ruined way, to put himself back together. And that last line he wrote, "Love should be spoken, even if it's late." I carry it with me now, because maybe that's the truth we all need to hear. We mess up, we run away, we fail the people we love. But it's never too late to say it, to try, to reach out even if your hand is shaking. My father died alone in a hospital room, but he didn't die silent. He left his words behind, and somehow, 20 years too late, they finally reached me. I keep his notebook on my desk now. Sometimes I open it, sometimes I don't, but it's there, and that's enough.